Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Before we get into things today, make sure you hit that like button. It is greatly appreciated and it really does help me out. Now, we're going to be working on the BMW 760 Ally today, and we're going to be swapping out the steering wheel. So this is a sports steering wheel. I removed it from my cheap Bmw 730D, and it's actually in very good condition. There's minimal wear to this, and I know the one in the 760 Ally does have a lot of wear, and obviously it doesn't look quite as good because it's not the sports steering wheel. So that's basically the plan today. I think it should be plug and play. I think it's just going to be a case of removing the old one, putting the new one into position. Everything in theory should work just the same, but I guess we'll have to wait and find out to see if that is the case. But without further ado, let's get outside and let's get cracking. Okay guys, so of course we are in the car now, and first thing you're going to want to do is to remove the steering wheel itself, the existing steering wheel. You're going to want to remove the airbag. Now, as you can see, the airbag has already been popped. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I've never removed a steering wheel from a Bmw E65, E66 before, and I thought it was just going to be pretty much the exact same as any other steering wheel to remove. Usually there is a couple of slots, one slot, maybe two slots, and you just push a screwdriver in, push a clip, and then it pops off. Now essentially this is the exact same, but it seems to be so much more difficult. I was honestly playing around for a good half an hour to an hour trying to get this thing off. Now, as you can see, like I said, the airbag has already been popped. Now, I just want to point out, if you want to go ahead and disconnect the battery before you remove an airbag, you can do so. If you don't, you may get an airbag warning light. That's no issue, we can reset that. But yeah, if you do want to go on the side of caution, just disconnect your battery first before you disconnect the airbag. But yeah, I've done this many times. I've never had an issue. So we are just going to go ahead and disconnect this airbag now. And because I'm sure you are all wanting to know how to remove this style airbag, which seems to be the most difficult, as you can see, it's actually pretty scratched up in here. I've done that with a flat bladed screwdriver. Now then, what you are trying to push when you insert a screwdriver, and I actually used a Torx screwdriver. Don't ask me why this worked the best, but it seemed to do so. Now essentially you are pushing this screwdriver through a slot on either side of the steering wheel. So there is one on either side. Now, as you can see, I have the steering wheel turned on the side, so I've done one side, now turn the steering wheel around and done the other side. So you're pushing the screwdriver through the slot on the steering wheel, and that is corresponding to this clip here, this spring clip. So you're pushing against that, and then you need to apply enough force to where this clip can unlatch off the brackets on the steering wheel itself. Now, like I said, you do need quite a bit of force, and yeah, you're going to need some patience to get this removed. So there'll be many times where you think you are on it, but you're not, and yeah, you're going to end up spending quite a bit of time getting this off. But essentially, the angle that you want to have your screwdriver, if you are doing it from underneath, is pretty damn close to the steering column. So let me see if I can show you a bit better with the camera angle. So once the screwdriver goes through the slot, it's going to be pretty close to this trim piece here for the steering column. You're just going to want to push, and then once you feel some resistance, just keep pushing, and then you'll know if you're on the spring, because it should have a bit of a spring action. If you go past it, if you start to go way too deep, yeah, you're just going to hit the airbag. So you don't need to go crazy. It's literally only maybe 2 inches inside of this hole. So yeah, once you get that, push it, and then the airbag should kind of pop off. But with the tricky bit now done, with the airbag removed, I can go ahead and remove the 15mm bolt that holds the steering wheel onto the steering column. It's really not that tight. think this has to be torqued down to around 55 to 60 Newton meters. That's the bolt removed. And the steering wheel should be keyed on to the steering column. There should only be one way this goes on, so you haven't got to worry about lining it up. Yeah, we can only go on one way. I've also got to disconnect a small electrical connector. So I'll just do that now as well. There we go. And the steering wheel should pull off. There we go. Steering wheel removed. So I'm actually going to be removing this trim piece as well. I have a feeling there's going to be quite a bit of dirt behind here, so I want to try and give this area a good clean up if possible. And I did also manage to damage this trim piece as well. I have a replacement, it's not an issue. I kind of knew that before doing this job anyway, so this should just be had in by a few clips, so it should pull off nice and easy. And yeah, kind of as I expected, a lot of dust, hairs, and best part of 20 years worth of filth in here. So yeah, going to try and give this area a bit of a clean up as much as possible. Then we'll install the trim piece and then get the new steering wheel on. So everything now nice and clean, new trim piece on. Let's go ahead and install the new steering wheel. Like I said, really only one way this can go on. You'll see on the spline there is a wider part that will correspond with the wider part on the steering wheel itself. Just line those up and then it should slide straight on. Plug our electrical connector back in. There we are. We can reinstall our bolt. And I'm just going to torque that down to 60 Newton meters. There we are. And we can get our airbag installed, our nice sport airbag. And where does this plug into? Oh yes, at the bottom. Okay. There we are. And now this airbag should push in. As easy as that. So much easier to reinstall one of these, especially the sport steering wheel as well. Now we're just going to make sure that this thing works. So we do have a driver airbags fault, which isn't an issue yet. Let's fire this up. Let's take it for a little drive. Let's see if that airbag warning light does reset itself. If not, then I'm more than likely going to have to plug it in just to reset the fault code. So I did just take it for a drive. The airbag warning light did not clear. We also have another fault code as well. I'm not too sure what that was, but it is kind of the ABS warning triangle. So that popped up, but you know, this could be just a case of having to clear the fault codes, or maybe having to recalibrate the steering angle sensor, something like that. So we'll go ahead, get ISTA plugged in, and then see if we can reset both of those. Okay, so gave the car a scan with ISTA, reset the fault codes, and the two warning lights on the dash are now gone. Took it for a drive, and they have not returned. So job done. Okay then guys, so there we go. Steering wheel now replaced on the BMW 760 Li. And honestly, the sport steering wheel, in my opinion, is so much better. After taking it for a bit of a drive, yeah, it feels so much better in your hands. I don't know if it is actually smaller. I guess I didn't really bother to measure it in diameter, but it does feel smaller. I don't know if it's because it's only 3-spoke as opposed to 4-spoke, but yeah, I think it feels better. It looks so much better, and yeah, it should be a nice addition to the car. Of course, guys, let me know your thoughts. Do you prefer the sport steering wheel, or do you prefer the previous SE steering wheel? Like I said, I would have swapped it out either way because the original SE steering wheel was in pretty poor shape. It had, you know, a lot of wear around the top of it. I guess someone had sort of, you know, been driving like this for a very long time. I don't know, no clue. But yeah, another job done. If you are doing this yourself, just know that the SE steering wheel is going to be pretty tricky to remove. Like I said, it took me a good half an hour to an hour just to kind of figure out where I need to be pushing on that spring. You know, I've removed, I don't know, good 5 to 10 BMW steering wheels in the past, and that's took all of 5 minutes, but this one has definitely been the most difficult to remove, so just bear that in mind. Yeah, that's about it, to be honest, guys. Hopefully you have enjoyed it. Please give it a like, leave a comment down below, subscribe if you have not already done so, and I will see you all in that next one. Peace.